Welcome to the Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 71. Today's date, July 22nd. Today, we get into a bunch of topics. Number one, game just ended a couple of minutes ago. We'll recap the USA's 92-88 win over Germany. We'll also talk a little bit about what happened in that win over South Sudan over the weekend. My concerns with the Americans, who's playing well, who isn't playing well, and what do we have to do to make sure we bring home the gold? Next, we go on to the women's side, and we'll recap Team USA's loss, 117-109 versus the WNBA All-Stars. Next, then we go back to the NBA. Evan Mobley signs a monster max extension with the Cavs. What does that mean for Evan? More importantly, what does that mean for Cleveland and their new coach, Kenny Atkinson? Next, we're going to go to a role player, a guy that does his job really well. Sam Hauser got himself a nice little bag, 4 years, $45 million from the Celtics, undrafted guy out of college. We'll talk about Sam Hauser's impact in that second group of the Boston Celtics. And lastly, Russ is cooking in another city. Russell Westbrook traded from the Clippers to Utah. We bought up for Utah, then going to sign with the Nuggets. We'll talk about how we can help Denver, and is Denver the best team in the Western Conference? Let's get started with a game that just went final not too long ago, a 92-88 win by the United States over Germany. LeBron James, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Embiid starting to play better, 15, 8, and 5. Steph Curry, 13, 3, and 2, but he did struggle a little bit from the three-point line. Looking on the other side, Franz Wagner was absolutely fantastic. 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. Dennis Schroeder, we'll talk about good Dennis and bad Dennis, because let's be honest, folks, there was a little bit of both in this game. Dennis Schroeder had 14 points and 10 assists. And then obviously Daniel Theis, I guess you call him a journeyman big man in the NBA, 13 points, 7 rebounds. And really quickly, even though we don't have it up on the graphic here, Mo Wagner did pretty well as well for Team Germany with 12 points and 7 rebounds. Simply put, folks, you know, we can look at this as a glass half empty or glass half full, meaning we can take the negative approach and then a positive approach. Let's start with the negative with today, okay? Folks, they continue at times to get outshot at the three-point line. Even though, you know, Germany shot at a poorer percentage, 29% to 35%, they still made 7 more threes. That's a plus 21. That's a plus 21 in points by Germany. And this is something that I've raised my level of concern with, and I hear it all over Sports Grid. I hear it from my buddies Kevin Walsh. I hear it from, obviously, Scotty Farrell, about why am I so concerned with the three-point line? We have shooters. Yes, we have shooters. But the problem is we don't have guys that shoot threes. And that could be an Achilles heel, because teams will play, and particularly you look at a team like Germany with Ups, who hit 5 out of 11 from three-point line. They are trading sometimes threes for twos, and that three-point shot can become an equalizer. Second thing I'm concerned with, 14. I said the number's got to be 12 or less, but here's the thing. It's the 14 turnovers that we had, but also Germany only having 7. We need to play an up-tempo game where we get the ball at a fast break on runouts and we go and push. For us to only force 7 turnovers is a problem, and I don't even know what the difference is. And do know, folks, there's a difference between dead ball and live ball turnovers, right? Dead ball turnover is you throw the ball out of bounds, right? To me, those aren't effective as a live ball turnover where you throw it, you get a deflection and a steal, and you're going the other way. That creates advantage. So to me, only forcing 7 turnovers, and the fact that we probably didn't have a lot of what I would call, live ball turnovers where we can get the ball the other way and quickly push the pace. 3, 81 to 69. You're like, what? Germany took 12 more shots than us. And sometimes you don't think that's a big deal, but more shots at the rim give you more shots to win. So that is something that we need to be concerned about, is giving up. You always want to shoot more, right, than your opponent. Okay? And then lastly, getting out-rebounded in offensive boards, 14-10. I saw a bunch of times where we shot the ball and nobody crashed the boards. Is that the fact that Steve Kerr is worried about, other teams running us out of the gym and being more athletic? Or are we just not attacking the boards? Those are things that are of concern to me personally as a coach. If you want to go back to the South Sudan game, let's be honest, folks, that game, and I don't know if Matt has the graphic, he probably doesn't because I didn't ask him, but that's on me. But when you talk about the South Sudan game, right, that we obviously won, you have to look at the fact of we had problems guarding the perimeter. And people can sit there and say, we got the best players in the world. I get it. You're absolutely right. But I got to say this. And it's funny, I was talking to Kevin Walsh before, I go on game time decisions basically every day. The K-Dub's up, and here's the box score, 101-100 over South Sudan. Obviously, LeBron leading the way. Like I said, I'll get to him in a second. But to me, the fact of teams feel like we don't have a stopper. And when I was talking to Kevin, this is where we miss Kawhi, right? Kawhi would have been, and I know you're going to say this, well, we have Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a great defender of a point guard, maybe a two guard. But he can't defend bigger guys, especially guys who can drive to the cup. This is a guy in Kawhi Leonard that can lock down any perimeter guy. And I feel like we're missing his defensive tenacity. We don't have that on this team. On the wing position, you kind of wonder, would someone like a Mikal Bridges been a good replacement for Kawhi? And that being said, I'm not knocking Derek White, because I'll tell you right now, folks, Derek White's going to have to be part of this rotation. And Derek White has played pretty well so far, to the point where, folks, Tyrese Halliburton ain't getting no run. And that has nothing to do with the fact that Tyrese Halliburton's not a great player. He's either hurt, and we don't know about it, or more importantly, he doesn't defend at a high enough level. And when you got all these other guys, you need guys that can get stops, right? Look at the Team USA roster. I'm not counting the Micah Porters and the Nigel Davises and Langston Galloways. They don't count. Two guys did not play for the USA today versus Germany. Durant's hurt, and Tyrese Halliburton. I want people to watch out for this, because I think it's his lack of effectiveness and maybe understanding defensive concepts and rotations and effort is a reason why a guy like Halliburton isn't getting time. But a guy like Derek White will stand still and shoot threes and defend at the high level and may have a higher basketball IQ. Not a better player, higher basketball IQ than Tyrese Halliburton. Make sure you take a look at that, folks. That could be something that's developing, is the play. So let's go to what I think is what's been good, particularly of today. Folks, simply put, when the game is on the line, this is LeBron's team. This is LeBron's team. Listen, I know about the turnover late, playing with the ball. funny story. I took the USA minus 4.5 at the end of the third quarter on BetMGM. I was up 6, loving life. LeBron has the ball, milk the clock, get one more score, and he lost it. Bad beat, whatever. I don't care. He's been really, really good. He's been really, really good. And LeBron is strong enough that when he takes it to the rack, you're not bumping him off the ball. And what was more impressive with LeBron is he had a big three. I think we were up by 1, and he put us up 4 with about 2 minutes left to go. It was a huge shot for LeBron to step in and shoot. Excuse me. So, good performance out of LeBron, right? 2, Embiid is starting to play better, right? He's starting to play better. 4 or 7 from the floor, 15 points, rebounded the ball well. I like what I saw out of, obviously, Joel Embiid, one of the best players on the floor. Ant continues to come in and get buckets. I just love the way the Ant comes in, and he just tries to take over the game. And then lastly, Anthony Davis on the boards. 14 minutes, 7 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. If you could find a bet to lead the team in rebounding, I'm taking Anthony Davis. I mean, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing. I don't even know what the hell's wrong with me today. But anyway, good win by the USA. They've been challenged. And if you're Steve Kerr, you want to have yourself challenged. And that was the last tune-up, right? So now we get into where the real fun begins, obviously with the USA. They are the favorites to win the gold medal. They should absolutely bring home the gold. I'm not expecting anything less than that. And I'm curious to see what happens once they start group play. They open up against Serbia. I do believe that's on, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's on Sunday, the 28th at 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. Remember, folks, you'll be on NBC. All right, so just make sure you set your clock, especially on the West Coast there. Early stage. Remember, we beat up Serbia. We really locked down the Joker. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then South Sudan on the 31st. Folks, whatever the first quarter line is, take the USA. They're going to absolutely bludgeon that team after what happened. Let's move on to the women. Uh-oh. Who are you more concerned about, the men or the women? Team WNBA wins a 117-109 game versus Team USA. And for let's focus on first the stats of our team, Team USA. Breanna Stewart and Asia Wilson were absolutely fantastic, combining for 55 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. Diana Taurasi was okay, but pretty good, 14, 6, and 5. But when you look at this game, you got to look at the play, particularly of the 2 rookies, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese for the double-double. I told people over the weekend to take it plus money. And I told people to take Caitlin Clark to get 8+ assists. It was that plus money with the minus money. She got the 10 assists. Not shocked at all. I thought they were going to try to take the ball out of her hands. And I thought what Caitlin Clark did really well that I loved is she allowed the game to come to her, and she got other people involved in the mix. And when you talk about other people involved in the mix, Matt put up that graphic. Arike Owombowale. Oh no, that girl done did it again to us. Last time we played this game, Team USA versus WNBA All-Stars, they left Arike Owombowale off the team. They lost 93-85. Arike was the MVP. Guess what happened this year? 117-109. Who was the best player on the floor? Arike Owombowale, 34 points. Folks, she had 0 at the break. 0. 21 points in the third quarter, I should say. A WNBA All-Star Game record. 34 points for the game. A WNBA All-Star Game record. And simply put, Arike Owombowale is one of the 5 best scorers in this league. And they didn't take her last time. And they didn't take her this time. And it's about time we put respect on this lady's game, because Arike is one of the best pure scorers on any basketball court with women. You look at this roster. Let's just go through it. Who you rather have on the team? Arike Owombowale or Jewel Lloyd? Arike Owombowale, Kelsey Plum. Arike Owombowale, Jackie Young. I love her to death, but if you need to, now, I'm not going to put Sabrina Ionescu and Chelsea Gray, because I think that is a point guard thing. So I'm going to keep those 2 out of it. Even a Kalia Copper, who's a walking bucket. Folks, I don't know if there's a better one-on-one player than Arike Owombowale. Something is going on, and there's been talk for years about biases and stuff like that and people being held out. I'm going to say this. Does Angel Reese maybe deserve to be on this team? Possibly. Does Caitlin Clark deserve to be on this team? Yes. But no one deserves to be on this team more than Arike Owombowale. And I can argue the second person that may be worthy to be on this team, maybe Jonquel Jones. Arike is a fabulous scorer. But let's focus our time now on one other thing. Chelsea Gray, point guard, I love her to death. She's coming off of major knee surgery. She just got back. Wouldn't it have been the worst thing in the world for her not to play and we get Caitlin Clark out there? I know Caitlin said the right thing. And I know Caitlin wants her rest. And I want people to understand something really quickly because I coached in college. People say Caitlin Clark has been going nonstop since November. Folks, you're wrong. She's been going nonstop 6 weeks earlier. Okay? 6 weeks from the opening day of the season in college basketball starts with what you call your 20 hours a week period, right? So you break it up into your 20 hours over those days. Now, out of the 42 days, you have to give your team 10 days off, and at least that's what it was a couple of years ago. So still, 32 out of 42 days, 20 hours a week. Caitlin Clark's been going nonstop. Andrew's been going nonstop since the ending of September. So maybe this isn't the worst thing for these ladies to have time off. But I'll say it. If that's the way she's going to play, just diamond people up, and Chelsea Gray is battling a knee injury and just got back, and the Aces are trying to win a WNBA title again, and try to hold off the Liberty, who I think right now may be the best team in the league, may not have been the worst thing for Chelsea Gray to be there, be home, and you send Caitlin Clark. I'll tell you one thing for sure. Ratings would have been up. All the way up. So when you talk about the Americans, if you think about the fact that I talked about Caitlin Clark and Wale, my concern is not in the front court. We have the two best players in the world in Asia Wilson and Stewie. They're going to carry us there, right? Alyssa Thomas can do a little bit of everything, right? Nafisa Collier working her way back. Brittany Griner, absolute monster. It's the guard play that's going to hold us back. Now, simply put, I'm not saying hold us back in regards to winning the gold medal. We're going to win it. It's going to be easy. Be careful with the point spreads because it's going to be astronomical. Maybe the best way to play the Team USA during the Olympics will be taking the team total over because they're going to score and they're going to score a ton. They scored 109 in this game. If they want to, they could probably score 110, 120 points a game. Remember, WNBA plays 10-minute quarters. Olympics, 10-minute quarters. It's not like the NBA where we go to 48 to 40. It's just 40 versus 40. USA will roll, but you got to wonder if they got the roster right. Let's move on to the NBA now. And Evan Mobley signed a monster 5-year, $224 million contract extension, which could come up to about $269 million. And this is an Evan Mobley that I believe is got to be the cornerstone of Cleveland, along with not with Jared Allen, with, of course, Donovan Mitchell. If you look at Evan Mobley, and particularly to me, I would bet, folks, I've been going back and forth with Mobley Allen, because one of them has to stay, one of them has to go. And I was all in there like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's Mobley that goes. And then I watched him against the Celtics. 5-game series. Ready? 17-13, 21-10, 17-8, 19-9, and 33-7. Simply put, they had to give this man the money. They had to give this man the money because he is someone that is a shot blocking big, someone that I think, ready folks, is going to be with Kenny Atkinson, and I think he's one of the best skill development guys there are. You want proof? D'Angelo Russell with the Nets. Karis LeVert with the Nets. Spencer Dinwiddie with the Nets. Beginning of Jared Allen's career. Jonathan Kuminga with the Warriors. Pozinski, what he did last year. Watch what he does with Evan Mobley. And don't forget, folks, he was the one that told Mike D'Antoni to play Jeremy Lin. Mark this down. Evan Mobley is going to be an absolute stud. So now it sets up with Cleveland is what do you do now that he's getting this extension? Simply put, I know I've said it 50 times. Folks, get ready for 51. Trade Jared Allen. Trade Jared Allen. Call New Orleans. Get B.I. And give me Darius Garland. If he stays or goes, let's see what happens. Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Brandon Ingram, Evan Mobley. With Karis LeVert off the bench. We'll see what happens to Isaac Okoro because I think he's still a free agent. Dean Wade. Georges Niang. I'm going to tell you right now. You go get B.I. And Kenny Atkinson does what I think he can do. They're a top 6 team again next year. And I'll say this right now. Kenny Atkinson will be in the conversation for NBA Coach of the Year. Mark my words. If he can find a way to get him in the top 4, when you're dealing with New York and Philadelphia and Boston and the Prove Orlando team, Indiana, Milwaukee should be back, hopefully. They get the top 4. Miami, they get the top 4. You'll be talking about Kenny Atkinson for Coach of the Year. Evan Mobley signs a monster deal, and it's absolutely deserved. Let's move on to Sam Hauser, who got the bag. Wasn't drafted, but he fits what they need in Boston. Come off the bench and knock down threes. And this Sam Hauser can do it, and he could do it at a really, really good rate, folks. Remember, all 3 years in the NBA, 43.2, 41.8, 42.4, all from the three-point line. Right? His job is to come in and knock down shots and stretch the floor. So he's had a really, really good NBA career, and he's so worthy of this deal. And he talks to the drafting of Brad Stevens or undrafting of Brad Stevens. Getting Sam Hauser, getting Peyton Pritchard, and now getting Baylor Shireman. Let me tell you something. Good luck guarding this team. Good luck guarding this team. Right? Derek White, shooter. KP, maybe the best shooting big in the NBA. Tatum, when he gets hot. Right? Hard to knock down threes. And then you go second team, folks, right? Of Hauser, Pritchard, Shireman, and Horford. So 4 guys off the bench that can shoot at 40% from 3. Good luck guarding them. And shout out to Sam Hauser for getting the absolute bag. Let's end today's podcast with someone who's not a shooter, but someone who likes to be a chef, a.k.a. Russell Westbrook, a.k.a. Let Russ Cook. And Russ is going to be cooking somewhere else this year as he was traded from the Clippers to the Nuggets, in which the Nuggets will turn around and release him so that he could go in a buyout to go sign with Denver. Simply put, Russell Westbrook is one of the most dominating personalities in the NBA the last 15, 20 years. He is a dynamic scorer. He can do a lot of things off the bounce. One thing is Russ ain't no damn shooter. Don't get it twisted. He ain't a shooter. Okay, so don't he may pull him. Don't mean he's gonna make him. But I'm gonna say this. Denver had to do something. They didn't have a choice. They lost KCP in the offseason. Last year they lost Bruce Brown and Jeff Green to free agency. Deron Holmes, the rookie out of Dayton, who I had so much love and promise for this kid, damn kid tore his Achilles the first game in Summer League, out for the year. So you're looking at a team that had to do something. They had to address their bench. And as crazy and as bad as people thought Russell Westbrook was last year, and he wasn't great, he still got you 11.1 points, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game in about 22.5 minutes. So Russ can still cook. He can't be what he ain't the chef at a 5-star restaurant, but he can still do some things. And they need him to. Because when you start looking at this team, they're going to move Christian Brown to the starting position. Peyton Watson gave him some stuff. But you're looking at Denver and you're like, damn, like this team's a little thin. Like they don't got the depth of some of these other teams. They don't got the depth of these teams that you consider to be championship contenders. So they had to address it. And Russ helps them. Does Russ get them over the top? I don't know. We'll see. But it's good to see Russ cooking, and hopefully he can help a guy like Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Simply put, I still think OKC and Minnesota are better teams in that division, the Northwest Division. This has been your Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 71. For all things sports gambling, please go download that SportsGrid app. Pre-game, in-game, post-game, props, predictions, and more from the very best in the sports gambling industry. Next episode, we'll record on Thursday. We'll get a little bit into the talk about the Olympics. I'll give you some things I like. For our producer, Matty George, from Vinny, who always does a great job with the graphics. Thank you, as always, folks, for listening. And remember, it's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Good night.